Overnight, one of the most shocking details this channel has ever uncovered is revealed. A scandalous letter sent by Republicans and Democrats to Nancy Pelosi telling her she has botched the stimulus package arrangements, that she has not done her role as Speaker of the House, and this is amid calls for her to step aside as Speaker of the House, oust her as Speaker of the House. Meantime, a representative is taking stuff into her own hands to save the constituents of her jurisdiction and is introducing her own stimulus bill, separate and apart from Nancy Pelosi. Meantime, minutes ago, analysts have now called the situation very dire and are shouting upon President Trump to realize that if he doesn't do stimulus right now, he could be gone. Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Mornings LALATE with really one of the most shocking, bombshell, scandalous reports which we've ever detailed on Mornings LALATE. This one is a shocking report in which there's a series of hits from all different sides coming at Nancy Pelosi and Donald Trump for one singular reason: inability to get stimulus done. But this is amid incredibly great news, as the Purple Power has really turned the tide. You, singularly, as the Purple Power, have pushed the envelope. No more than a week ago, people were being told that there's one person speaking for you, and if she doesn't speak, then to keep our mouths quiet. Well, minutes ago, shocking details came out about President Trump and Nancy Pelosi. This is amid a scandal overnight in regards to a series of really shocking reports against her, including this: a congressional letter on congressional letterhead saying, "Get out or get done." Let me get to the incredible details. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please do. Go to the front of this channel, subscribe. This is the Purple Power. This is LALATE Mornings, every morning at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now the Net's most watched morning show for a reason. You're not going to hear anything like this anywhere else. This is incredibly great news, but also scandalous news this morning. Thank you for becoming a part of the Purple Power community. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, the coffee is brewing. I'm here, you're here. Your alpaca's here. The cows are not here. You know, they're off at Club Med because they got their stimulus. The lobsters are clawing. The dragons are, breathing some fire into getting people's feet moving. And it's a great morning, and we're going to get right to it. I'm so glad you're here. Also, like this video because this deserves a couple of likes, don't you think? Let me get to the incredible details overnight and more about what's going on today. I'm going to be going over the scandals that erupted overnight. Calls for stimulus packages to be done separate and apart from the Temple of Doom. Incredible stuff. The letter, the separate bill, the calls to oust her. Then I'll be going over what happened minutes ago. Calls for Donald Trump to either get it done or zip it and be gone out of the White House, because if you don't get stimulus, no one wants you around. This is amid a massive new report minutes ago that said, this is one stock, Apple. All the rest are going to tank. The stock market's going to collapse if you don't get stimulus right away. And new jobless claims are out. They're not good. Finally, Jerome Powell and Steve Mnuchin will be testifying before Congress today. All right, let me get to the shocking details that you need to know to start your Thursday morning. A insanely scandalous letter was written and detailed overnight on congressional letterhead, signed by a bipartisan group of Republicans and Democrats. This letter is just shocking. Dear Speaker Pelosi, we write to express our concerns about the status of ongoing negotiations for COVID. It has become suggested by some members of Congress are anxious to return to their home districts on vacation to campaign for their fall election. Even though we have no relief bill, no stimulus package, we want to be very clear, we do not agree with this position. Okay, it starts there, it gets worse. We strongly believe that until the House has successfully sent a new, repeat, new, bipartisan, and that word is underlined in the letter, bipartisan stimulus package to the Senate, our place of duty has remained here in the People's House of Representatives. We were elected to represent our constituents and the country. Our constituents' expectations in the midst of this crisis are that we not only rise the occasion and stay at the table until we deliver the stimulus package, but also that we set aside our politics in times of need for our country. Oh boy. Our constituents do not want us home campaigning for businesses, for campaigning while their businesses are shutting down. Their families cannot pay bills, food bank lines lengthen, schools struggle to reopen, pressures grow on hospital systems, and state and local budgets continue to shortfall. Our hardships are growing with every passing week. Wow. Staying at the table, the negotiation table, of course, means keeping members of the House of Representatives in session and on Capitol Hill, underlined, in town, and not, remote commuting, until a bipartisan deal is reached and passed in the House. We continue to deliver and dictate the actions of the Senate, but we can, and the people of the House, continue to work to deliver relief for American people. This should be our number one priority in the coming days. It's our request for you keep the House in session, and we work to do a new deal, and we start ready to ensure that Americans can receive the urgent relief. Jared Golden, Brian Fitzpatrick, Kathleen Rice, Anthony Gonzalez, Max Rose, Jamie Herrera Buchela, who I'm going to detail in a second, Anthony Brindisi, Fred Upton, Gilbert Cisneros, Stephanie Murphy, John Cunningham, Josh Gothingham, Jim Costa, Van Taylor, Colleen Alfred, Michelle Sorrell, Thomas Sweezy, John Catos, Susan Wild, Schrader, Abby Finneker, Kendall Horn, Susie Lee, Della Phillips, Spangler, Zeidler, Johnson, Stephaner, Zimpisi, Gallagher, Reed, Cook, Slockett, and Bacon. I have never, in the history of this channel, have ever seen a letter as scandalous as this since the old days of when SBA was written a letter, when Javier Carranza was written a letter by members of Congress saying, you're not complying with the CARES Act, either act up or zip it. I've never seen a letter like this. This is all because of you. This is all because of the Purple Power. Because of the Purple Power, you gave congressional leaders the spine to have a voice. They had been rolling over. And no less than a week ago, they were told to zip it. The context of the letter are absolutely overwhelming. One, it's saying that we need a new bill in this House. Two, it's saying to hell with that HEROES Act. It was a bipartisan bill. It didn't serve any purpose. It hasn't done anything. It's a waste of time. And this is written by Democrats. Three, it says, Nancy Pelosi, you're singularly to blame for what's going on. Four, it says that until you do this, we're not going home. So if you want to go home and have some $12 ice cream for the $20,000 fridge, go ahead. We're staying here and we're getting this done. And we're doing it in the next few days. Oh my goodness. This is incredible. This is the power of the purple. A week ago, we were told one woman, Nancy Pelosi, was rejecting us, that her caucus was realigned, that she would meet with news reporters, and every time she was asked about Democrats in her house not agreeing with her, she says, they don't say that to me. No, they write you letters, and then when they go to you, knock on your door, you don't answer the door. She was dispelling this and saying it wasn't occurring. She says it wasn't happening. Oh no, it's happening very loud and clear. The great news as we start the new morning is that the scandal is really front page. Democrats, whether it's Blue Dogs, New Age coalitions, or this group, which is not a group, it's just a bunch of individual representatives, both Republicans and Democrats, writing her a letter saying, you know what? Get it done or else. That was the first thing overnight. The second one overnight was one of the people who wrote that letter, signed the letter, additionally had enough. And so she stepped in and did her own bill. And who is that? That's Representative Jaime Herrera Bucher, who signed the letter. She's from Washington's 3rd Congressional District. She's at home. Not at home. She's watching what's happening at home, and she saw that 9,500 businesses in her district, which is Southwest Washington, are about to close down because of Nancy Pelosi. She said, I can't do this. I'm going to do my standalone bill. I'm going to do my own standalone bill, and I'm introducing it, and I'm going to extend PPP, which I'm not going to spend too much time on because it's not the viewers of the channel's focus. But she said, you know what? You're not doing anything for my constituents. I'm going to do it for myself. I'm going to do a standalone bill, and I'm doing it right now. Insane. It's going for vote tomorrow. God bless her. More scandals. What did Nancy Pelosi do yesterday? She introduced a 157-page bill to tee up another impeachment of Donald Trump, which caused Kevin McCarthy to say, you know what? Guess what? We're moving to oust you as Speaker of the House. You keep this up, honey. We're going to oust you from the Speaker of the House. You do not... You're just there for partisan purposes. You're not there to pass legislation. You know, when you're in the Congress, you're there to pass legislation. You're not to run for president of the United States. You're not to be shady. And he specifically said, that's enough. We're moving to oust you. You keep this up. This is what's going on. McCarthy said, the need for leadership is right now. Next, the airline slammed Congress overnight, saying, how can a group of people not get a stimulus relief in package in queue? If you did not see what happened yesterday, the airlines are back into your stimulus package. They now have that October 1st deadline with us. The airlines are going to literally implode on October 1st and could declare bankruptcy, could cut routes across the country so you can't fly to respective cities because their airline business is down 85%. They have to decide the future of tens of thousands of employees by October 1st. Because of federal law, they have to decide whether they're going to fire them or rehire them under furloughing rules of federal law. That deadline is October 1st. They're urging the vote by the president on October 1st, the signature by the president on October 1st, which will require a vote by the House of Representatives on the 29th of September and the Senate on the 30th to get it done. And they said, you know what? You better get it done because you're just not doing your job. Today, the heat's going to heat up more, not just from the purple power, but because of Congress. Guess who's talking today? Yeah, Steve Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary to Donald Trump, and Jerome Powell will speak before the Senate Banking Committee. This is the third time that they're talking this week, and they will have a further discussion about the stimulus package. Next, breaking news minutes ago that says that 75% of retail businesses across the country cannot make rent. And that litigation is expected to go through the roof, that by July the percentage of rent payers had almost doubled to 65%, but that the tensions are unprecedented. Next, labor numbers are out. This is Friday. This is the Friday jobless report. The number that's released every Friday morning is the number of new people who are on unemployment. So this is not total number of people. This is new unemployment claims. And it doesn't mean someone who was on it before, then went off and then went back on. This is actually brand new claims. And the number's not good. The number came in at a 70. It went back up again. It continues to go back up. So we're now at the 25th week of the number going up or not doing well. We had 20-something weeks of 1 million or more. Then we dropped to 850 approximately, and now ever since we're going back up. This is not good. Peter Verochet, CEO of Bleecker Advisory Group, says, bottom line, we have a lot of people going back to work because they don't have the enhanced unemployment benefits. The largest rise of unemployment claims were in New York and Georgia. New York went up 9,000, and Georgia went up over 6,000 overnight. The situation when you read that bipartisan letter is so insanely incredible, is that they're basically saying everything that we have said, but a little bit more. What they're saying is that you have right now a solution, and the solution is the Problem Solvers Bill. And the Problem Solvers Bill is supported by the president, $1.5 trillion. The president said he'll go over a $1.5 trillion. We all know that the Problem Solvers Bill needs more stuff in it. We all know that. And the Problem Solvers Bill, problem solvers themselves, you can put more stuff in it. We also have, on the other hand, the HEROES Act, which is a bloated waste of time bill at 3 point something trillion. Democrats have never reduced it officially. They've only talked about reducing it. And I've always said that you can get this deal done somewhere between 1.5 and 2. I've always said the president will go to 2. Problem is the president hasn't done that. Problem is the Democrats have not done that. They've not come down to 2. They're still at 3. So you have the problem solvers at 1.5. You have the Democrats at 3 still officially. And they're not doing it. Well, here we go as we start the new morning. This is what you got to be as a takeaway. 1, you have to still push the purple power behind the problem solvers. It's working. As you see today, it's absolutely categorically working. You have to be on social media and tag the problem solvers, tag the blue dogs, tag the new age Democrats. I will try to figure out a way for you to get behind all the people in this letter as well. I'm going to figure out a way, and I'll tweet it out if I can. You need to, or maybe if one of you wants to help me figure out a way to tag, I mean, it's about 40 people. I don't know if I can get fit in one tweet. But tag everyone in this letter. That would also be really helpful if anyone wants to help with that as well. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you need to be pushing with the president. I got to tell you, if you were not watching CNBC Morning News with Jim Cramer minutes ago and David Faber, Jim Cramer said exactly what I've been saying for a week. He said, the stock market's going to crash. The stock market's going to go down. It came on the heels of an analyst report for the Apple stock, the cell phone stock. And it said Apple shares are going to fall because there's the expiration of enhanced unemployment benefits. Yeah, this is actually in the analyst report. And that the president has really not stepped up and given stimulus. To which Kramer says, David, do you think the president watches the stock market? He says, Jim, he watches it every 10 seconds. He's obsessed with the stock market. And Jim says, well, the stock market's going to crash, David. What's he doing? And David says, I don't know. He says, the stock market's going to crash. He's going to roll over and give the stimulus package to the Democrats after it crashes? You got to do it now. Are we just never going to see the stimulus package from this president? What's with him? David Kramer says, I don't know. The bottom line is, does the president really know? What you need to do is be on social media and be pushing hard with Meadows and Mnuchin and Trump and say, listen, what are we doing? Do the executive order, for God's sakes. You had that $300 billion you identified 2 weeks ago. Send out the stimulus checks. There's additionally $300 billion sitting around for enhanced unemployment benefits. Send that out. If he did those singular 2 things and nothing but that, you'd be shocked how much better this economy would be. But if he doesn't even do that, he's gone. I mean, he is literally gone. He would not have fulfilled any of his obligations or his promises to the American people since the month of June. Stimulus checks, he said, in the month of June. Stimulus checks, he said, in the month of July. Stimulus checks, he said, in the month of August. Stimulus checks, he said, in the month of September. Then send them out. Stock market's about to crash. It's going down, but it's not down. It's not down as far as it's going to go. The situation economically, let me end with, because I don't want to always give you I always want to give you a context of where we are. The good news is your purple power is working. The good news is that Democrats and Republicans are stepping up and are trying to push for a vote. You need to push for a vote. You need to get this done. We have a couple more days for this October 1st deadline, which is not your deadline, but it's a deadline that is surrounding this because of the airlines. It works in your favor. We're pushing that narrative to get this done in the next couple days. This is incredibly great news. The bad news on the other side is the economic news, and I need you to understand this. 1, you should not be buying stocks. 2, you should be protecting your cash. 3, you should be very, very concerned economically of where this stock market, bonds, and anything that you have in the bank is going forward. Someone was asking me about bank liquidity. You should be concerned about bank liquidity. You should be concerned about everything economically, because when you have a financial collapse, if you do, I'm not saying we will, when you have a financial collapse, everything can go very fast south very quickly. So you do not want to have everything in one place. That's the first thing. The second thing is you want to be very cautious and not think that everything is tied up as so wonderfully and beautiful, because things, when they go economically bad, they go bad very quickly. To think that an analyst report about a cell phone stock talks about enhanced unemployment benefits is showing you a lot. To think that an analyst like Jim Cramer, who admittedly speaks to Steve Mnuchin all the time, they're very good friends, they say it on air, doesn't understand why Steve Mnuchin's team with Trump has not sent out an executive order for stimulus check and PPP and PUA and enhanced unemployment benefits. Doesn't him understand it, and doesn't understand what is the weight. It shows you there's a disconnect. And as he said, I wouldn't go near some of these stocks. I think it's very scary. So what I want you to be alert about is the economics around you, whether you're unemployed or self-employed, you're on SSDI or SSI, you're on railroad benefits or veterans benefits, or you're on Social Security. I have your wishes here. We all have our wishes here. This is one of the best communities that is out there to ensure that everyone gets through this together. We all have different situations. We all are mindful of each other. So go on social media, use the hashtag #PurplePower, tweet this video, share this video, tag the politicians. I'll be sending out some tweets right at the time of this video going live that shows you stuff that you need to be retweeting, and then there'll be a lot more coming up later today on Afternoons LALATE at 3:30. Go to the French channel, subscribe, because boy, this is heating up hotter than a kettle of lobsters in a Kentucky home. I love you, and I thank you for the love back, and also like this channel because boy, like this video because boy, the fish are gonna get fried and get ready to be battered. Have a great morning. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay focused. See you on Afternoons LALATE, and always stay positive, stay focused. You're going to get through it together. Have a great day.